Appreciate you, Coach. Well, later tonight in November, snowfall is forecasted to hit the Twin Cities, but right now, calm outside, and, of course, a calm day inside U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 42. So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 40.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd and 9, Cousins. He'll run it. Give him 7 there on the tuck and run, and they're in better shape now for 3rd.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
The former Purdue Boilermaker, Raheem Mostert. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. He needed 2, he got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down at a yard. Going deep for Diggs. And that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown. Stephon Diggs with touchdown number 12 on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Extra point right down the middle, and it's now a 7-0 game. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Bears take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. First rep of the game for Josh Jacobs. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game. And that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
A gain there of 12 yards and a first down for the Bears. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Trubisky. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
Trying to run for it with Jacobs. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth. Looking a little bit like a continuation of last week. He had 3 tackles for a loss, and now 1 more here in the first quarter of this game.
And there's been no lack of force by him, taking on the offensive linemen, playing them, but also there's a suddenness to his game. They have that initial contact, and then he's gone, moving upfield and making those plays in the backfield.
It's a big body moving upfield, too. We'll call this a 41-yard punt, 7 on the return. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least 1 home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. On 1st and 10, Cousins eluding the pressure right. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up.
Nine yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
They were not fooling around at all, were they? 2nd and short, and they brought out the heavy package. Almost felt like the super heavy package against that defense, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that much beef up front, and it turned into an easy first down conversion. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
This is Mostert, and an alley to run. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
2nd and 5 now. Cousins. And that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown. Stephon Diggs with his 13th touchdown of the year and 2nd of the game. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Point after, right down the middle. And it's now 14-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Bears take over 1st and 10.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
On 3rd and 1, it's Trubisky. Well, the 2 men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here that could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking.
He's got a man complete. The 30. Past the 20. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. So not only is that his 3rd touchdown catch of the game, he's done it here in the first half.
I'm not sure defensively what they're going to come up with to slow him down, because already we're seeing him run past, over, through guys in order to make these catches. And being able to try and shut him down at this stage of the game, it's going to take a lot of effort. So maybe it'll open things up for some other people.
Well, they better figure something out, and soon. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but
you don't want to.
No, but well, let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game, watching this offensive line, because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
Now that after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
Got an open man. That's Campbell. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. He's got his first catch. For a first down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Trubisky to throw. And And now he'll tuck it and run. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be second down. On second down, Jacobs. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. Now Trubisky. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Julian Love picks it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds. That is caught. It's Tajay Sharp. And they work this well upfield across the 45. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. Cousins now over 200 yards already in this first half. It's 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, the Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well, as we are back and underway for the second half. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Now Trubisky to throw. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Good coverage that time by the linebacker, Deion Jones.
Whenever they're trying to attack a zone defense, you're trying to figure out where your gaps are going to be. And depending on what type of zone they're playing, it could be on the outside, it could be in the middle, it could be in the seams, in the edges. In this case, they tried to attack the middle of the field, but this zone defense didn't allow.
There he goes, right side. And mark him down all the way inside the Minnesota 10. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Here's Jacobs. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Josh Jacobs, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bears cut into that lead. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. The 3rd quarter has not been kind to them. After they built that lead at intermission, they've seen that lead shrink.
And how much of that is simply execution? How much of that is maybe you lose your edge a little bit because you've got a lead? And you do have to credit the other team some because they've made some adjustments to start to slow them down. Can they find those counters now, those extra plays or plays they haven't run that'll be effective and get them back moving again?
They'll be looking for something here, anything to seize that momentum back.
Check 3. Pilot, 64, weak.
Now a handoff looking right. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Cousins on target to Diggs. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Kyle Van Noy. And he'll return this one just shy of midfield to the 49.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
Here we go. Check 55. 18. Check 55.
From the gun, it's Trubisky. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick 6 last week. Not a pick 6 here, but an interception.
Hey, it's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept the pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he had made it all the way to the end zone. This week, he got the Oski.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the former first-rounder, Artie Burns. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. I think you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the first. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a 1st down.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10, right at the 50-yard line. Now a handoff here to his running back. Xavier Howard up to make the tackle.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. That one a 1st down pickup of 8.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Here's Cousins escaping, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starting in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
They get 14 back, but it leads now to a third down. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 20. Cousins on first down. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by Kyle Fuller. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. So now he's equaled his interception total from a week ago. Remember, Charles, he had 3 last week.
And you know, all week long he vowed to take that number down. Told the guys on the team, don't worry, things are going to pick up. I've got this. But he is in a major league rut right now. Let's see if his teammates can pick him up along the way.
You're right. He talked about being cool, calm, collective, rebounding. Not rebounding right here. Now a man open down the middle of the field. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. On first and 10, it's Trubisky. Flush to his right. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be second down.
A 6-yard pickup brings up second and 4 at the 46-yard line.
And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So here's a first and 10 at the 38.
Let's make these babies cry all the way. 18.
They will run the draw with Jacobs. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
It's a loss of 2. Brings up second and 12 at the 40-yard line.
On second and 12, Trubisky completes it to Miller. Way inside the 15 before they drop it. 27 yards there, a first down. From the red zone now, here's Trubisky on first down. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Anthony Miller, his second touchdown on the season, as his guys are back within a single score.
Okay, I know it's an old line, but it still applies here. The fat lady has not sung yet. She may be warming up, but she hasn't sung yet. There's still an opportunity.
Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. Gets fielded in the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They've been asleep for a little while on this side of the football, Charles, and the score is just a one-score game now. Haven't had any points this half. What gives?
Let's go old school here. All right, let's get back to the basics. Get back to running the football, high percentage throws. Find the guys that eat pressure and make plays for you, and make sure they touch it.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on second down. Now Mostert. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Going deep for Diggs. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's second down.
I remember a coach telling me a long time ago the difference between playing corner and safety in the NFL. Corner is like the Autobahn. Everybody just flying by, and these corners have been really busy in this game, although they got it done on the last play.
On the last play, yes, but there have been some good numbers put up against him offensively. Here's a throw that's taken in out of the backfield. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. A running play on 1st down, and it turns into a fight just to get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 28. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it. So it's not.
And he's across for the touchdown. And in the final minute, that should just about seal it.
And that touchdown should make you feel comfortable. But do you really feel like it's totally over yet?
Not totally, but I think you're pretty much there.
Yeah, you've still got to make sure you stay with it, do all the right things down the stretch, especially on defense. But that touchdown there, you've got to feel good about your chances.
So they go with a pass, and it works there on the 2-point try. Charles, just in general, what are your thoughts passing versus running on 2-point conversion? Situational?
It is situational. You have to know your team. What is your strength? Because so many people think you have to throw the ball in a 2-point conversion, but the stats will tell you that running it is about as proficient. So know your team and go to your strength.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this 4th quarter. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. They go play action. Trubisky. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. Tried to go for the big one there on 2nd down. Now they're likely down to their final 2 plays.
And you know they've got to keep going for the big shot, right? So defensively, you play what they call top down. Nothing behind you. Make everything get completed in front.
Flushed out right. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. They're going on 4th down. It's Trubisky. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line. It's a sack. Danielle Hunter. And now, boy, the ball's going to go over on downs here inside the 10-yard line. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Throwing here, Cousins. And that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that, but there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with it. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I'll guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners who had them. Hey, listen, get the points from me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
On 1st down, Trubisky. He's going to let it fly. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Jonathan Jones. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll take this for a short gain on what will prove to be the final play of this ball game. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory, and they were really helped by their defense forcing 3 turnovers.
I think what we saw in this one, today's defense. And what I mean by that is in the old days, pitching shutouts was big time. That was paramount. But the big thing was holding people down, holding down their yardage, right? Don't let them throw the ball through the air and gain a lot of. But now it's about taking the ball away, taking away possessions, getting the ball back for their offense. They had 3 takeaways in this one, and it led them to victory.
So for Minnesota, they keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 8-3 on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Tennessee Titans. Meanwhile, for Chicago, it'll be loss number 6 on the season for them. And they will try to get back in the swing of things next week on the